Okay, we're going to start some examples of how you can use edit points to modify your designs. And for this example, this one is a real simple one. We've taken one of the simple cornices out of Dream Draper, and I've put up two copies so that you can see the original, and then we're going to modify the one on the bottom. Now I've highlighted it, and you can see the normal handles. Again, if you go into Edit Points mode, then you're going to click on your icon right up here. And now you can see the handles for that design. And using the handles, you can, again, move those lines or line segments. And you see how we modified that arch. And you can use the edit points to modify any portion of the design. That's the great thing about edit points. All right, now I'm going to go to a little bit more complex example. We're going to look at a box pleat valance. And we've zoomed in so you can see the lines. We're still in edit points mode. If I highlight the design on the bottom, you're going to see all those edit points. You can modify just a portion of that design. And you don't have to be looking at 1,000 points of light here. If that confuses you and you just want to see a portion of the design highlighted in the edit points, then switch to your second arrow. Your second arrow up here allows you to do detail work without having to ungroup a design. So I've switched arrows, and remember, every time you switch arrows, do the click away so that nothing is highlighted on your screen. Then you can come back and highlight the portion that you want to modify. If I wanted to modify the outline, for example, this arch, then I could just highlight the basic valance, and then I'll see all of the edit points for the outline. But for example, if I wanted to modify just some of the detail lines, then I can come in here and click on one of the lines. Now, this valance has a very kind of relaxed look. I might want to delete one or more of the points on the detail lines to give it a more stiff look. So in order to delete an edit point here, remember, I want to keep my Control key depressed. And as I move my cursor towards an edit point, my cursor will change to that minus sign, and when it does, then I can click with my mouse. There, you see, I removed that edit point, and that detail line does look more straight. And I could do the same thing over here on this detail line. I'm going to highlight it with my mouse. There. Same thing if I want to delete an edit point, I keep my finger depressed on the Control key. And then as I approach the edit point with my cursor, there you see my cursor has changed to a minus sign, and I can now click on that edit point. And I just removed that edit point. So that is a very simple modification, removing points out of your design. All right, let's look at another example. I'm going to look at these panels. Now, and I'm going to go back to my normal design mode. This is my default design mode. I'm going to depress that. When you open the program, you're in this default design mode. All right, some of our customers have said that they spend a lot of time trying to draw their own banding along like the leading edge of a panel. Well, here's just the little tip. It really doesn't involve edit points, but since our customers tried to use edit points to draw that banding, I'm going to show you a real simple tip. You might have seen this before. If you want to have a leading edge on a panel, just make a copy of the panel and place one right on top of the other. It's really simple. Now I'm going to add a little bit of color so you can see this better. and I'll draw, I'll color this one at the bottom, a contrast color. There. All right, now here's a little bit of a hint. I mean, that's a real easy way to do a leading edge banding. Here's a little bit of a hint. The panel that's in the back, just resize it a little bit smaller so that it doesn't stick out. You see that? And you can size it. You can pull it down a little bit more if you need to. There. I mean, it's a real easy way. Okay, now back to edit points. You know, if you wanted to give a little bit more movement to the panel, you can always go into your edit points mode, highlight your design, and you can just pull on one of those edit points and just pull the fabric out. It gives your panel a little bit more body, a little bit more movement. All right, we're going to show a little bit more drawing. This example here is a little bit more complicated, but it's not hard at all. All right, I'm going to go back to my normal default design mode right here. And say I want to draw some contrast banding, some horizontal or at an angle contrast banding. I'm going to use my cubic Bezier. And I will just start to click through the panel. Okay, and I'm just clicking, and I'll do a wide contrast band here. All right, here's where I started, and I'm going to double click. And remember, it doesn't fill automatically because it is the cubic Bezier, and the icon is not filled. Now, what I want to do at this point is I'm going to fill the panel with the fabric. All right. Now, I want to fill that contrast band with a color. And I'll use my eyedropper and try and pick out this color right there. There you go. Now that looks pretty good, but I'm not done. Now notice that the banding is on top of the detail lines. That's no problem. Highlight your panel, ungroup it. There, I've just separated the detail lines from the panel itself. I'm going to grab that contrast band and I'm going to use my order commands up here, and I'm going to send that contrast band backward one level. There, you see that? Now that contrast band is behind the detail lines. But I'm not yet done. I'm going to lasso the panel and regroup. There you go. And I want to do one more thing. My contrast band outline is a little bit darker than the detail lines, and I just want to get it all, you know, at the same stroke level. So I'll highlight my panel, and then I will go into my properties window here, and I'll change the stroke level. Now I could use my arrows and bump it up. And, you know, that's too dark. I bumped it up to over 2, a stroke level of 2.125. It's too much. I will go down to, I'll say 1.5. And remember, if you type in a value, hit the Enter key. There. See, now the stroke level is the same. The stroke of the contrast banding is the same value as the stroke in the panel. And, you know, that looks quite nice there. So I'm satisfied. So that is using your drawing tools. And let me show you another example. You've probably already used the photo crop. But in case you haven't, let me show you an example. Here's the photo, and I put a design on top of the photo. Now obviously the design here is on top of that chair. So what I want to do is I want to use the photo crop and crop that chair out of the photo so I can put the chair on top of the panel. So I'm going to use my cubic Bezier, and I'm just going to draw or trace the chair. And you know what? I can do it really quick. If you are tracing other furniture, you might want to do it more slowly, and you can use your edit points to totally refine the outline of that trace. I'm moving kind of quickly. You know, if I wanted to refine that outline, I could go into my edit points mode and I could move those edit points and I could change the curvature of those line segments. But I'm really not that concerned right now, so I'm going to go back into my normal design mode. I've highlighted my trace and I'm going to highlight the photo at the same time. Remember, you can do that by keeping your Shift key depressed. Now that they're both highlighted, I can click on my photo crop. There! And it cut out the chair. And now I can move that chair right on top of my other photo. And I'll just nudge it into place. Oops, I'm going to put this on. I'm going to order that chair to the front. There you go. There you go. Again, that's using your drawing tools. I'm going to show you one last example of how I used layers and the drawing tools. In this example here, we had a photo. And as you can see, on the right side, I've got 4 layers in this file. And notice you can have your properties window and your layers window open at the same time. All right, the first layer is your photo, and it's locked. I can't grab it at all with my mouse. What I did on layer 2, and I'm exposing layer 2 now, I put on a design, a window treatment, and obviously it's on top of the dining room table. So on layer 3, I'm going to now expose layer 3. There, you see I cropped out the table and put the table on top of the treatment. Now there's only one thing that I have left to do, and that is, you know what, I want to have my window treatment shown in the portion of the chair that's see-through. You see that? And that is what I did on layer 4. I'm going to expose layer 4. You see that what I did was I just drew. I used my cubic Bezier and I drew objects through the chair, and then I filled those objects with color. Now I just want to point out something, and I'm going to zoom in. I did not do it on the left side of the image, just so you could see the difference. When I drew this portion of fabric, and I'm going to unlock the layer so I can show you there. That's one of the objects. I'm going to copy and paste it so you can see. I drew this with the edit points right here, as you can see. And also I changed the outline brown, because normally if you draw it's going to be black, but I changed it to a brown so that it would blend in with the chair. So it's these little tricks that you can do using your drawing tools. And basically that's our webinar for edit points and layers and learning to draw. So thank you for joining us.